Hello guys. Ryan Grubb also said he was excited to reunite with Austin Mack. It would be amazing if he took over as Bama QB from Ty Simpson at Bama, don't you think? Before the news, subscribe to the channel to receive more Bama news. Ryan Grubb's arrival as offensive coordinator brought with it a story that is already showing signs that it could shape the future of the Crimson Tide's offense in 2025. And, among the many storylines surrounding this transition, one name stands out: Austin Mack. Grubb's excitement when talking about Mack does not go unnoticed. It is clear that there is a special connection between the two, something built during the time they worked together at the University of Washington. When Grubb mentions how young Mack was when he joined the Huskies at 17 and how quickly he absorbed the teachings of Michael Penix Jr., it's clear that he sees in the quarterback a quick mind capable of processing complex systems. This is crucial to the style of play that Grubb intends to implement at Alabama. But let's be careful. Although Mack is a talented player, he is still in a tight battle for the QB1 spot with Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell, who have great potential. Simpson, it's worth remembering, has been one of the program's biggest draws in recent years and carries with him the expectation of being the next big name under center in Alabama's offense. However, the previous relationship between Grubb and Mack cannot be ignored. There is something powerful about a coach who deeply understands a player's strengths and weaknesses, especially when it comes to a position as critical as quarterback. Grubb didn't hide his enthusiasm when discussing Mack's technical development. He highlighted the youngster's noticeable improvements in throwing and posture, in addition to praising his intelligence on the field. For those who follow Alabama closely, these details are promising. Head coach Kalen DeBoer will certainly be watching for these signs as he evaluates his quarterbacks. He knows that in a modern offensive system like the one Grubb intends to implement, a QB's ability to make quick, accurate decisions can make all the difference. It's important to note that, as much as Mack has drawn attention this spring, the competition is far from over. Ty Simpson, with his potential and experience within the program, continues to be a central piece in this competition. He has the advantage of already knowing the methods of work in Tuscaloosa and having shown flashes of brilliance in crucial moments. Keelan Russell, while less talked about, is also in the running, bringing with him the energy of someone looking to prove his worth. What makes this situation even more fascinating is Grubb's role as offensive coordinator. His influence will be decisive not only in designing the plays, but also in choosing the leader of this unit. If Mack continues to show the same dedication and progress that impressed Grubb in Washington, it would be natural for the coach to feel more confident in starting him. After all, college football is an environment where prior working relationships can make all the difference. Grubb has seen Mack grow as a player and knows exactly how to get the most out of his skills. On the other hand, DeBoer has to balance the dynamic with the overall needs of the team. He can't simply pick a quarterback based solely on his relationship with Grubb. The final decision has to consider who offers Alabama the best chance of success on the field. And that means consistently evaluating each player's performance during spring practice and later in fall camp. As fans speculate about who will be QB1, it's impossible not to feel a certain excitement about the future of Alabama's offense. With Grubb at the helm, there's a renewed sense of innovation and creativity. He's brought with him not only a new system, but also a different mindset focused on maximizing each player's potential. And if Mack does take over as the starting quarterback, it will be interesting to see how he adapts to the competitive landscape of the SEC, a conference known for testing even the best quarterbacks. Regardless of who emerges victorious from this matchup, one thing is for sure: Alabama is in good hands. Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb are building something special in Tuscaloosa, and the battle between Mack, Simpson and Russell is just one chapter in that story. For Crimson Tide fans, it will be up to them to watch the next few months to see how this competition plays out and who will ultimately be chosen to lead the offense in pursuit of another national title. What do you think? For defensive coordinator Kane Wommack, who is in his second year at the helm of the Alabama unit, the job is far from done. Despite the noticeable progress made in the 2024 season that just passed, he is quick to admit that the Crimson Tide still needs to improve significantly in key areas to reach the level of excellence required by the program. Mack is blunt: "We're nowhere near where we need to be." That candor may come as a surprise to some fans, especially considering that the defense was one of the team's pillars last year, making up for many of the offensive inconsistencies that marked the campaign. However, for those who follow Alabama closely, that statement reflects something much bigger than just a tactical assessment. It's a mindset. It's an understanding that at Alabama, simply being good isn't enough. The goal will always be perfection, or something close to it. One of the key areas Mack highlighted was the creation of negative plays. This aspect of the game, though often overlooked by casual fans, is crucial to controlling the pace of a game. Forcing opposing offenses to give up yards or make mistakes can completely change the dynamics of a game, especially against teams that rely on long, consistent drives. However, as Mack himself pointed out, there are practical difficulties with this process. During spring practice, for example, quarterbacks typically don't face any real pressure, something that limits defenders' ability to practice certain game situations. Still, he emphasized that this shouldn't be an excuse. Improving in this area requires both schematic adjustments and a more aggressive mental approach. Another crucial point Mack mentioned was anticipation. He explained that in a coverage-based defense like Alabama's, players need to react quickly to opposing quarterbacks' decisions. This means understanding look progressions, anticipating where the ball will be thrown, and making snap decisions. While the Crimson Tide has fared well in terms of takeaways, finishing fourth nationally in that statistic, Mack believes there is room for improvement. He argues that too many opportunities have been missed because players are still reacting instead of anticipating. That subtle difference may seem small, but at the competitive level of the SEC, it makes all the difference. The pursuit of continuous improvement has been a hallmark of Alabama's past under Nick Saban, and now, under Kalen DeBoer, that philosophy remains intact. Mack knows the defense needs to evolve not just in terms of stats, but also in its overall mindset. He wants a unit that is relentless, disciplined, and capable of imposing its will on opponents. That requires hard work, attention to detail, and a deep understanding of the game. It's important to note that despite the constructive criticism, Mack acknowledged the strides the defense has made in 2024. The consistent improvement throughout the season was evident, and the group has shown resilience in the face of challenges. However, the defensive coordinator is well aware that past success is no guarantee of future success. The SEC is a cutthroat conference, and Alabama's rivals Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU and others are constantly looking for ways to outdo the Crimson Tide. For Alabama fans, Mack's words should serve as a reminder that the program remains committed to excellence in all aspects of the game. While the defense has made significant strides, there's still a long way to go. And that's something to celebrate, because it shows that the team isn't satisfied with the status quo. There's a constant hunger for more, a relentless pursuit of improving every detail. As Alabama enters the 2025 season, all eyes will be on this defensive unit. It will be interesting to see how Mack implements his schematic tweaks and how the players respond to the challenge of anticipating rather than reacting. If the program's history is any indication, there's good reason to be optimistic. Alabama has a history of turning weaknesses into strengths, and with Mack leading the defense, it wouldn't be surprising if the unit takes an even bigger leap forward next year. In the meantime, fans can be sure of one thing: Mack won't rest until the Crimson Tide are where they need to be. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts.